Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. We are late, family. I want to welcome you to Gye-Nyame Journey Media. And this is the congregation of the mighty. This is the Heart of a Simple production. Of course, you know this is Folktales for grown folks. We about to get it tonight. We're going to get it tonight. I know y'all looking at my tie. Let me fix that. Because I had a shirt up under it, so I got to go fix that, right? But we up, we popping. It's a Heart of a Simple production. Yeah, that's right. And of course, you know, this is where we strive to blow up your old paradigms. Shouts out to the career wrong start song. There we go right there. Lines will be open. Back to school again. What's up, Anubis? We've been trying to reach out to you, man. I hope everything's cool.
This is Gye-Nyame, and you have joined us on Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. Be sure to check out our site and subscribe at tribe.gyenamejourney.com. All my brothers and sisters, hold hands and bow your heads. Let us pray. God standeth in the context of the mighty. He readeth amongst the gods. How long will you serve unjustly and accept the persons of the wicked?
Brother Kwame, I see you in the house.
The fatherless, do justice to the afflicted and the needy. Deliver the poor and needy. Rid them out of the hand of the wicked. Take no not.
Black signal has went out.
They go down and death. All the foundations of the earth are out of court. I have said, you are God, and all of you are children of the Most High. But you shall die like men, and fall like one of the princes. Arise, O God, judge the earth. God shall endure all nations. Allah is Akbar.
Good to hear that, Brother Newman.
This is Kabbalah Folks, and you are now listening to the Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
I see a little scrolly.
Keep up with the journey. Check out what we have done in the past.
This is
Go to
Jasmine tea. I just scrolled the phone in there. I think I might need to do some experimentation. What y'all think? I ain't gonna drink that right now.
This is Ivan Sheik, aka Ace, live from Shisha Lounge, and you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
Be sure to follow Gye-Nyame Journey on Facebook, Google Plus, and Twitter. Check us out.
Who in the kitchen?
Join the journey.
What I'm saying is give me a water, baby. You're supposed to be in bed, though.
This is Ivan Sheik, aka Ace, live from Shisha Lounge, and you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. You are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio with my
Gotcha. I just asked you to water. I didn't ask you to do nothing else, baby.
This is Raymond with the Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
Gotcha.
This is Willie. Welcome to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. I want to give a shout out to Silver Kevin.
Good life here, Gye-Nyame
My
Journey.
Silver Nation out there. I want to give a shout out to my mom. I want to give a shout out to my dad
What?
to raise me and my family to be around me. And I want to give a shout out to the people of my generation that's trying to do something big.
What are you doing? Time for bed.
This is Cleveland, and you're listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
Please, so This man Sir Hotep, aka Mr. Deity. Mr. Deity, does it sound good? I think it sounds great. Right now, you listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
If you're not adding anything to the culture that you claim, you don't deserve to carry its name.
This is Brother Hotep coming at you live, and you are now listening to the Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
Shouts out to the Gye-Nyame tribe, Gye-Nyame family. Stand up, please.
Congregation of the Mighty, as we gather to discuss these folk tales that can change your life. And the one we have today, ooh-wee, tell your family and tell your friends, because we're going to be talking some serious talk. Now, it might get kind of nasty because we talking about the ass and the horse, and I know, some of y'all got dirty minds. Dirty minds. No, it's not a porno. It's a story told to us by one of our ancestors by the name, an unforgettable name of Aesop. And we're going to break it down, but family, I got to go a little bit through my day today. I didn't get to finish the article that I was reading this morning about slavery by another name. Shouts out to Patar Rod. Shouts out to Lady J. She on the line right now as we speak. But I'm going to finish reading now. I'm trying to do that before I go to bed. But
is that based on the documentary?
No.
With the documentary?
No, the one from this morning was from the newspaper. Wow, Brother Urima's trying to call me. I'm honored. I just call him back after the show. I think it was from New York or New York Times, where they talk about I think they found a mass burial ground of slaves, of Africans in Texas. And he talked about the burial ground in New York, and I just wanted I started reading this morning. I said this is not a good day to start off like that. So I didn't finish reading it, but maybe somebody out there read it, and you can call in and talk a little bit about it. Also, and then we're going to get right to it. All right, here we go. So now, my daughter's playing the video in the back, and it kind of caught my attention. But while I'm running late because I had the Kwanzaa meeting, and I swear, man, I was thinking, I said, I don't want to go. Matter of fact, I spoke to Brother Kwame before I went to the meeting. Said I want to go because I got school tomorrow. I'm kind of tired because they changed the process for the buses, and I'm responsible for the buses, so I had to come. I had to do. Sasha, you gonna have to turn that off, man. So the issue was I had to kind of come up with a whole new system for the buses. Although it's electronic, I still had to have a system, and thank God I have somebody that was able to walk me through, because the director told me, he said, bruh, I need he said, I want you to develop a flow chart, you know what I'm saying, so that we can understand what you understand about the process. I say, bruh, I don't understand nothing about the process. He said, exactly, that's why I want you to do a flow chart. So I went out and I sat down and did a flow chart, and after I did the flow chart, it actually started working a little bit better for me. So, shouts out. It's always good to have good people around you that can, when you are lost, you can admit where you're lost, and they can help you find yourself. See, because the power is in finding the answer yourself, because if he would have gave me the answer, or if he would have did it for me, I wouldn't have known how to handle it. So he was like, dude, just, do you. You know what I'm saying? But give me a flow chart. I need a flow chart. Your deliverables are A and B. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, cool. Got A and B. And in the process of getting A and B, I was able to solve the problem. Now, so that took all day. So I get to the end of the day. It's time for me to go. I'm like, I don't know if I want to go to this meeting. And I'm speaking to Brother Gye-Nyame. We talking about the Marcus Garvey Festival, which I'm going to talk about a little bit too, in between. But then, so I go to the meeting, and I'm walking into Gore Insurance. And as I'm walking into Gore Insurance, a dude that I didn't recognize, hey, bro. And I looked around, I know he was talking to me. He walked up to me and said, man, I see you on your Facebook every day, and I'm sending out shots to you, blah, blah, blah. Gave me a hug. I'm like, wow. So, that's the first time that ever happened. And then on the way home, right, this is how the family, this is growing. On the way home, I go into the store, because my girls, they did pretty good there, you know what I'm saying? They made noise, but they didn't tear nothing up. So I stopped to get them a reward, right? And I go into the store and I grab the stuff, and one guy he talking to both of the girls at the register. So I walk up to the register and I look at the girl, try to get her attention. I say, hey, are you open? And I walk up to her to go pay for my stuff. And right when I'm about to reach for my wallet, homeboy said, is that all you getting, homie? I said, yeah. He said, give me that. He took it and he bought it. He said, anything else in here you want? I said, no. He said, whatever help you need, I'm going to give you the help you need because you helped me when I was young. I'm surprised you don't recognize me. You taught me how to play chess. You the reason I'm still alive right now. And I said, wow. So shouts out to those brothers. One name is Mitch. I don't remember the brother's name at the place. But when you do this work, family, it pays off. Not just with the chips. And not just with the chips. But you get to see that in some form or fashion, when you opening your mouth, when you doing what you're supposed to be doing, when you following your purpose or on your nia, right, things happen for you. I know that I'm not talking. I know for a fact right now we got people online, so I know I'm not talking to myself. But the piece is, for years I was talking to myself. At least I thought I was. But in some form or fashion, it reached out, and I was able to get some benefits. But now, I'm not going to run my mouth anymore. Lady J is on the line. Thank you for blessing us with your presence, Lady J. Give it up for Lady J, y'all. All right, what's going on with you, Lady J?
A couple things.
What, you gonna leave us in suspense?
A couple things. You want me to talk about them?
Go ahead. You just don't take up 30 minutes, because you know how you do.
Okay. So forgive me in advance. So I have realized that there is there's some well-meaning white people, okay? There's some well-meaning white people who are not responsible for their delusions, all right? Because they too have been socialized. And so I just know this. And so dealing with today, I was just evaluating some of the women I work with, and I realized that not only do they have this whole God complex thing, but they also have this victim thing that they do, right?
Uh-huh.
And so I'm going to give you an example. I work with this woman, and one day we're at lunch, and we work with a different, select population. So one day we're at lunch with a group of people, and she's talking about not wanting to work with the majority of the students, right? Mm-hmm. She's okay working with her little select group, but she really doesn't want to interact with the gross majority of the kids because she's afraid of them. In her own words, she's very fragile, she's very sensitive, and they scare her. Well, it's only me and one other woman who looks like me sitting at in this space. I bite my tongue because she's already telling me she's afraid. So what I'm ready to say, it would just validate her concern, right? Because I'm ready to chew this woman up and tell her how ignorant she sounds, right? So I wait and I tell one of my coworkers, a coworker that looks like me, I say, this woman has one more time to say something. And then I'm going to give her all hell. But all that to say, that's one experience, one observation. But I've watched some of these women, not all of them by far, because I know a couple genuine, right? Humans who are authentic in what they do, right? Some of these people top me. Some of these people are my peers. You know what I'm saying? And so, but there's some people, and I'm just specifically talking about white women at this time, and it's unfortunate because they are the predominant demographic that teach our children, right? So I'm thinking about these women who may not have ever been immersed in the culture. I'm thinking about these women who the gross majority of what they know is not through interaction, but it is through what they've been socialized to believe, socialized to see. And it's just a disadvantage. And then again, I'm thinking about this whole victim mentality. This whole victim, it takes me back to like the Emmett Till story, right? It takes me back to some of the classics with literature. It takes me back to numerous stories throughout our history about white women playing victim. And I just was feeling some type of way. So one thing I got from camp this year, there's an individual at camp, and people questioned it, right? And I actually went to the director, and I asked her about it. And what she told me, she said, she was talking about this immersion, taking someone and immersing them in the culture. And I'm like, you know what? I kind of dug it, right? And I really dug the individual they chose because she wasn't afraid to ask questions, right? I'd rather you ask questions than make assumptions. But this white woman that I work with, she got lunch duty, right? Which means these kids that she's afraid of, now she has to monitor them, right? Really this year. Last year she got out of it with this fake injury. I pray no one that knows me is listening and knows my people in my building.
We got a lot of listeners that come in afterwards, Lady J. So stay as Lady J.
Okay. So
they know your
stay
voice.
As Lady J. So. And so this woman this year, they gave her we got her schedules today. They gave this particular white woman, they gave her lunch duty again. Now last year she weaseled her way out of it, right?
Right.
She weaseled her way out of it. She blamed it on her pregnancy. She blamed it on her back problem. She blamed it on everything but the fact that you're scared of these damn children, right? Mm-hmm. Who are children. And so this year they gave her lunch duty again, and she's throwing a fit, not in front of me, but she's throwing a fit behind my back. And she's saying, why don't they just give her lunch duty? She likes it. She goes down and eats with the kids every day anyways, right? She's throwing a whole fit. And so my thing about it this year, so somebody said they were going to relieve her. So my thing about it this year is that I'm going to create an atmosphere that immerses this woman in culture. She's not going to have a choice but to get down with the get down. It's going to be and I felt a little bad, but then at the end of the day, I said she's going to be a better person because of it. I'm going to knock down those old paradigms. I'm going to give her me is not enough because it's just not enough because people make I don't know. I don't think that even though I share my testimony, people don't connect the dots. But I'm going to make sure that this white woman is immersed in the culture this year. And I think she's going to be a stronger person because of it. I'm going to make sure that none of her colleagues that is on that lunch duty, I'm going to make sure that they don't fall for her victim mentality, right? I'm going to make sure they don't attend her pity parties. You feel what I'm saying? I'm going to make sure that she gets the true feeling of what it feels like to work in an urban setting with 95% African-American children. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to make sure And so now I'm just telling people, be on the lookout for these victims. Be on the lookout. Be on the lookout, because it's obviously that they're rampant. And unfortunately, like I said, these are the people that are teaching your children, because our people won't go into the field of education because, of course, it doesn't pay a lot of money.
I don't think it's necessarily won't. You know what I'm saying? But we going.
When I was told not to be a teacher, my whole life I wanted to be a teacher, and I'm just going to say this because I believe that this does happen. I've watched it, I've heard it, I watched adults say this, I've heard it, witnessed it. But I even went through 4 years of the teaching academy in high school. I was a student teacher while in high school, going to different buildings inside different classrooms. The minute I got my full ride to school, to college, my mentor, someone I admired, told me, "Don't be a teacher. They get paid no money. Go do something else with your talent." Right? And I did. I studied something else. And then the minute I finished and got my degree, I became a substitute teacher. And it was the first day that they allowed me to take a class that I realized that I had made a grave mistake. That is the advice that we give our kids, not only about teaching, the teaching profession, but we tell them that about being cops. I remember how uncomfortable I used to feel, I'm being honest, when kids would tell me that they...
Listen, you digressing, because we been here. Go ahead.
So when kids say they want to be cops, we say they're pigs. It's not the profession. It's not the profession. It's the problem. It's the mentality of those people that go into the profession. But just be mindful that again, like I said, my spill today, my anxiety, my anxiousness, my aggression, everything has been fueled by white women who play victim, and the fact that these are the women who are interacting with our black males, with our black women, and I don't know, and teaching them. And just how we need to shift that, and how we need to do it is by encouraging those young people who have the skills, who have the talent, that might be interested in this, to go into this field, and expressing to them why it's so important for infrastructure, why it's important that we get our credentials in this area so we can go into these public schools where they are hiring black teachers, seeking black teachers, got black task force to hire black teachers, and go into these classrooms, because our children need us. If not, they'll be caught by the victims.
And so, all right. So I hear you. So we know what's going on with Lady J. Some of y'all out there, let us know how y'all days were today. This was a great Coogee Chagalia. You know what I'm saying? Lady J says she has been feeling anxious, and she has a plan to I guess proselytize this white woman.
Baptize her.
In
the name of the movement.
In the name of the movement. All right, hey, well, like I said, I wish you nothing but the best, because you are consistent, and you one of those that's out there doing the work. So that's why when she goes off on her little things, I don't argue with her most of the time. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate you for taking the time to even call in. But hey, family, so now it's time for us to get into this folktale.
Can I say this? Can I say one disclaimer? Because I use the word white a whole lot, and I do know that because I'm using that word, people could induce that I'm some type of bigot or racist, and I'm really not.
Why are you concerned about that?
I believe we are all created in God's. We are all created in God's image. But then again, like I said, the issue is the socialization of some of the people that have that color.
Listen, we got to stop apologizing for that, right? This is why I'm saying that, right? You're being a bigot because you're pointing out some obvious ideas that you believe somebody have. Now, what you might be... Wait, hold on. Let me finish. What you might be guilty of is not really sitting down with her and really asking her her story and getting into it. That's what... But I don't see how you would be a bigot by identifying her as she is. She She is white.
I just don't want no one to think that I am projecting this onto all white women. I'm not. I'm projecting this onto white women. And the last thing I'm going to say is I did sit down with her, but I have very little patience for ignorance. And one thing that this woman said to me is that she said that the kids only listen to me because I'm black and I speak a black vernacular. And I told her that no, your problem is that you need to be firm in what you say. You need some bass in your voice. You need to speak with authority. If I sense that you did, it's just like one of the folk tales that we read. You know, if I sense your fear, now I've dominated you. I've dominated you, and the fact that you're afraid of me and that you feel so fragile around me, that is the reason I don't respect you. I don't not respect you because of your color. I don't respect you because you fear me. And for what? And I know that you're afraid of me. I know that you're afraid to make connections and bond with me. You come on now, and teacher, educator, what they don't understand this.
Well,
it has nothing to do with me being black.
You know what is a good chance of what you're going to end up doing, right?
What?
Freeing up a job.
I'm going to do what?
You're going to free up a job. That's what you're going to do.
Oh, and I've been working on it. It would be mission accomplished because there's somewhere else she should be. Time out for these. This is my last thing.
So stop apologizing. Listen, wait, hold on. Stop apologizing for it. I mean, because on Gye-Nyame Journey, we accept that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, we understand there's differences here. And it's our job to, in a sense, point out the differences and the issues that's out here. If we don't do it, a lot of our people run around here thinking they're dark-skinned white people. They start thinking that we're all the same. We're not all the same. We got to learn how to deal with differences. The difference that makes the world beautiful. If we all were the same, if we all were exactly alike, life would be horrible. I don't want to talk to another Hatim. I get on my own goddamn nerves. I don't want, you know what I'm saying? I need a Lady J. I need a Kwame. I need a Patara. I need a what's just the name? Bria. You know what I'm saying? I need all those people out here. We need that difference in our own thoughts and in the way that we exist and in the way that we live. And that's what really makes that out of everything. That's what makes America number one. All of the differences. Now, stop.
You're probably aware that these teachers come into urban districts because their loans are going to be forgiven.
Right.
And so
I have no problem. I mean, I had no problems. I had no problems when they run into my kids. You know what I'm saying? Hey, because if you're there for the wrong reasons, they're going to chew you up and spit you out as they should. As they should. Because if you're not there for us, because what we got to understand, because one of the things that Amos Wilson says, man, education is education is for nation building. We need to be able to direct our youth through the education system. That's what it's for. Anything else, we're playing school. If we're not developing our youth for their future, we're just playing school. And many people come in playing school. They don't really understand that until we really start identifying and helping our kids understand. And my fault, we don't have to do that. If we go in with the intent and the purpose of, in a sense, nation building, we will have less issues with our kids. Yes, we're going to have issues, but I believe that we will have less issues because when the kids see you and they hear you talking and they hear you talking about what's going on in the world and possibly what's out there and the future ramifications of them not getting what they need, not just getting education just for education's sake, but getting an education so that you can apply your skills for the betterment of your family, your tribe, and your people. You know what I'm saying? But all of this stuff a lot of our kids get is disconnected. So when you come in, whether you white, black, or whatever, and you come in playing school, they play. When you come in, as you well know, when you come in and you're able to have serious dialogue with them and you're able to show and demonstrate to them what true leadership is, because true leadership is not motherfuckers being able to sit down and just be quiet. That's not leadership. That's called bullying. You know what I'm saying? When you're able to get into a dialogue with your young people and you're able to inspire them to learn, even if they don't even like your subject, you inspire them to learn something, then you don't have no problems. All the people that be having problems with kids, they don't inspire. You know what I'm saying? They don't come in with a fire. But go ahead. I gotta get
one thing that I share with teachers in the buildings that I go to, because they're predominantly white, is that I did when it came time to do my student teaching, I went into a suburb, and I went to New Albany. I went into Westerville, and the reason why I did is because another mentor told me, you have been in the public setting all your life, right? You came up in these schools, you have subbed in these schools, you know them like the back of your hand. Let's get you into a different atmosphere, right? So when I went into this different environment, I was nervous. But it was the first day at one of my positions. It was the first day, and I remember listening to a young lady who was Caucasian telling her friend about how her mom and dad argued, and how her mom threw her wedding ring at her dad, and how she put it around her necklace. And just from that argument, hearing what this little girl had experienced that morning, right, I said, well, damn, these kids, I may not be able to relate to them because I went to school with their parents, or I grew up in the same neighborhood, or I played in the same, sports in the same league. But I can resonate with them because there's things that we have in common, right? And I found those commonalities, and that's how I was able to deal with kids who did not look like me. I teach kids to speak all different languages. A lot of them are from India, right? Nepal. They're Asian. These kids, I was able to bond with these kids, even though I had a fear when I first got this assignment, like, how am I going to connect with them? I know why I can teach kids that look like me. I know, but for these kids, it's a little different. But yet again, I'm able to find that commonality. I'm able to build that rapport, and
why?
I'm able to produce the scores.
Now,
I know.
Tell them why.
Yeah, so I just...
Tell us why. Why were you able to walk in the room and establish a rapport with a group of kids that didn't look like you? Why were you able to do it?
Why am I? Because I don't know. You're going to tell me this answer.
I ain't going to tell you the answer. I'm going to tell you what I think.
I find our commonalities.
Why? Why do you need to find the commonalities? I mean, because you
to relate to them.
Not only to relate to them,
to
because
relate,
you
to
have
understand
to.
them.
You have to. White women don't have to. I mean, in ultimate reality, they don't have to really relate with our kids. All they got to do is do their job. You understand what I'm saying? They got unions and stuff. A lot of these people, they come and they have unions to protect their job. They could be horrible at what they do, but they can have people protect them. So you have to go in and you have to perform because you're held to a different standard. Not only professionally, but personally. I have the same union. All right, you had the same. Okay, cool. All right.
I have the same union.
I wonder will they ride for you like they'll ride for her, but I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm just saying.
Okay, so this is one of those one thing that people are missing out on, especially in larger districts. Again, I can only speak of Columbus, right? You remember that situation that happened where there was a disagreement. I had to leave and go get a new job, right? I was able to do that in 48 hours. And it was because I was black. It was because I graduated from that district. So these same individuals who have people in higher places, so do people who look like me, because we have been taking over and infiltrating the public school system.
Okay.
Period. They're looking for people. They want to raise their scores. They know in order to get their scores and get their schools to where they need to be, they need people who look like these children.
So we're gonna have
they need people that look like their children.
We're gonna have a show where we're gonna have a discussion, and I'm gonna get some other educators. I'm definitely gonna get the teacher on here. I'm gonna have you, and we're gonna have to do something like this because we got a whole bunch of educators out here. And different views, different things about the unions, different things about the teaching. Because my whole issue is, if we doing all this infiltrating, we need to be, you know what I'm saying? We need to be guiding the system towards making sure that our children are being trained to be able to build within our community Period. I
Okay.
don't necessarily see that with all this infiltration. See, because
They have to put the programs are out here. The programs are out here. Trust and believe.
okay.
In certain places, they have it even
certain
more
places, yeah.
equipped.
Yeah,
in
certain
certain cities and certain states, it's going. I
Certain
mean, the things,
states?
the
Are you
initiatives
sure?
that I've heard in some different places are mind blowing on what they're doing to get young people who look like us into their districts.
We'll see. Now they're getting them in there for. I mean, I'm just so we get back into the nation builder piece, but we might have different definitions for nation building. So or different aspects. But let's get into this folktale because we lost a lot of people on Facebook. I don't know what's going on, but it goes down like that sometime. I wonder how many people we got in Spreaker. Miss Jackson, I seen you out there. Shouts out to you. All right, so here we go. The folktale of the day. It is called The Ass and the Horse. Shut your nasty self up. Alright, here we go. An ass besought a horse to spare him a small portion of his feed. Yes, said the horse. If any remains out of what I am now eating, I will give it you for the sake of my own superior dignity. Damn, this kind of fit in right with our conversation. And if you will come when I reach my own stall in the evening, I will give you a little sack full of barley. The ass replied, thank you, but I can't think that you, who refuse me a little matter now, will by and by or confer on me a greater benefit. I will read that one more time. Tell your family, tell your friends, get on the line. Let's discuss this one. An ass besought a horse to spare him a small portion of his feed. Yes, said the horse. If any remains of what I am now eating, I will give it you for the sake of my own superior dignity. And if you will come when I reach my own stall in the evening, I will give you a little sack full of barley. Whatever sound a horse make. The ass replied, thank you, but I can't think that you, who refuse me a little matter now, will by and by confer on me a greater benefit. You want to hit that one first, Lady J? Or you want me?
Absolutely not.
What? All right, now family.
No, I can't wait to hear what you have to say. Hurry.
All right, here we go. So now once again, when you're breaking these down, you put yourself in the folktale. You identify the characters, you identify the actions, boom, boom, boom. You run through it. So we got two characters. We got an ass and we got a horse. Now the ass, when we look at the ass historically, the ass is basically a true beast of burden, right? Even according to this story, this horse looks down on the ass. The ass has always been a symbol of humbleness. Maybe not even too smart. Something that a group or society could take advantage of. Stuff I don't want to carry. I could throw on the ass's back. I could throw a whole lot of stuff on the ass's back, and the ass is going to struggle through. So an ass is an individual or a being that is looked down upon by society and used as a beast of burden. Sound familiar? Then we have the horse, who belongs to the same family, but is a little bit more respected. A horse could carry an individual, although a horse does carry and pull buggies, but obviously a horse has a higher level in society and through other people's eyes than the ass, even though they're lightly related, right? So the ass is asking, the ass is hungry and says, can you give me some of your food? And the horse responds very simply, I will give you some of my food after I finish eating my fill. And if there's any left, you can have it. And he not only totally discounted, because I want you to think about this, he discounted he discounted the ass question. And basically what he did was he flipped it and said, it is not for you that I'm giving you this food. whatever's left, I'm giving it to you because I'm so much better than you are. I'm so much better than you are. We'll both basically beasts of burden. We both are owned and controlled by individuals outside of ourselves and outside of our group. But you, because you believe you have a higher stature because you get to carry a man, I get to carry all this shit. You think that you're better than me. So now, this is the wisdom of the ass. The ass says, all right, cool. I'll be patient. I'll wait. The horse eats. And he says, look, after I give you this little bit of food that's left, come with me to my house and I will give you a little bag of barley so that you can take it home as well. And the ass response is, if you will not do for me in the first matter, why should I believe that you're going to do for me in a later matter, right? If you ain't going to give me what you got right now, if you're not going to give me a piece of what you got right now, why should I trust that if I follow you home, you're going to give me something else? You're greedy. You know what I'm saying? You have no respect for me. And now you telling me that you're going to give me a reward if I go home with you, when all you got to do is let me eat. All I want to do is eat some food now, and we ain't even talking about later. Now, first off for me, family, this is, for me, I keep telling y'all, folk tales, these folk tales are for grown folks. This is politics. This is economics. This is relationships. All of the lessons that many of us have and many of the issues we have in our life right now are, one, because we're operating in the world as an ass sometimes, and sometimes we're operating in the world as a horse, a high sedity horse, forgetting to realize that both of us are still slaves. I'm better than you. I'm more dignified than you. But I'm still eating food that other people have provided for me. So family, now, first things, politics. This ass was smart enough, and I wish my people were smart enough to realize this. If a motherfucker won't give you what's on the table now, what makes you think they're going to come back and do something for you later? If somebody has food on the table right now, and they don't want to give you any of the food that's there right now, even though it's plenty, what makes you think that even if they promise you something now, they're going to give you something later? We could talk about emotional support. We could talk about financial support. We could talk about political support. We could talk about social support. If an individual, when they are at their best, when they are at when they have plenty, is not willing to share it with you now, what makes you think they're going to share it with you later? Even an ass is smart enough to realize this. Even an ass is smart enough to realize this. But yet we run our political lives in the way that this horse wants the ass to run his political life. All right, we can't talk about your issues now, but, we'll talk about them down the line. And I learned this shit a long time ago working for nonprofit organizations. And when election time came around or a levy was on the books, motherfuckers always wanted to talk to the organizations that I worked with after they got the money. Nobody ever wanted to really have a discussion about money prior to it. And a lot of us would jump right in and do all we could because they gonna give us some afterwards, even though they were starving us almost all the way up to the levy until they needed us with the levy. And then after the levy was gone, we were supposed to believe, and many of us did, that they was gonna do right by us. Family, if an individual, when they are on top of the world, when they are on top of a financial situation, when they're on top of an emotional situation, when they're on top of a social situation, if they don't do right by you then, you best believe that they're not going to do right by you later. Even the ass knew this. Now let's get on this horse. This horse is an individual, right? It's an individual that's in a fucked up situation, right? Still in a fucked up situation. But he believes he's better than somebody else in a similar fucked up situation because he has been given a title, or that the bag that he carries might be a little bit lighter. Let me ask you a question. What's the difference between a slave that carries a heavy bag and a slave that carries a light bag? Anybody?
The load they're carrying?
I guess. I mean, that's about it. But they still both slaves, are they not?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, we allow ourselves to, because really we allow ourselves to get caught up in these little separations, like house nigga, field niggas, light nigga, dark nigga. You know what I'm saying? We get caught up in these titles, and one title, and what always makes it work is that one title is always better than the other title, and other people put that there. Who put the difference between an ass and a horse there? That's the unmentioned character in the story. Who put the difference between an ass and a horse? What makes the horse feel that the horse is better than the ass? Both of them run on 4 legs. One might run a little bit faster than the other. One might be a little bit taller than the other, but they both are from the horse family. They both are subjugated up under the same type of oppression. One just get to carry a lighter load, maybe. But they also have Aesop, because what's crazy is Aesop has stories because the stories are laced and the stories are layered. What do I mean? What layered? I told you about that. When you read the story, every time you read the story, you are liable, as you get older and you get wiser, you get different pieces from the story. It's layered. So I can read this to Gina right now. Gina will get one aspect of the story. She might not get it at all. I read it to her when she become a teenager. She going to get a different lesson out of it than when she 20. And when she 30, she going to look at it different. When she 40, she going to look at it different. These stories are to be revisited because they're layered, right? But then also they're laced, which means that when you read one of these folk tales, like Lady J often do in our conversation, she pulls a folk tale and she will use that folktale to support an idea that she's presenting to everybody. So these folktales cross. So another folktale that's laced with this one is another one about a horse that got old. That at one point in time, he was looked at high and he was riding with the knight. But as soon as he got too old and he lost a step, he was sitting right in the barn with the mules and shit, eating just like them. Because he, in essence, he's still a horse. He's still a servant. He's still a slave. And many of us, we fall out with individuals. We fall out with each other. We fall out in our organizations because of these false titles that other people give us. And even some titles that we create for ourselves. Rather than looking at it and being like, dog, hell, you might be the captain on this ship, but the goddamn boat is sinking. Wake up. Lady J, go ahead, cause I'm just this one right here for me. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm done.
I was just thinking about how how people do things for you, but they don't do it for the right reason. And a lot of times that's that person's karma, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like we all have a right to say yes and we have a right to say no. And the thing that leads us to say yes should be for what will be returned to you through the universe, not for, what that person will do for you. So that beginning where he says, I'm going to give this to you after I eat A, but B, only because I want you to see how superior I am
to you.
That's just a sign of someone doing something for all the wrong reasons. And I too don't want things from people to do that. I want you to do things that are genuine, but also I know that even if you do it and I accept it, you will receive no good karma because you did it from the wrong place. And that's what I see. And that's the part that reminded me of the conversation we were having, my vid team, about the place where people are coming from when they're doing things is not genuine.
Right.
You're not here working with these students because you genuinely have an interest, but it's because you want your stuff your bill, your loans paid off, and B, you do it because of that whole manifest destiny mentality.
Right.
It's like you feel like you being a civilized individual, this is what you're supposed to do for us brown people, and that's bullshit.
Right. And we got and like I said, and now this is the issue. This is where it comes. This is why I say you don't need to worry about how people gonna label you, Lady J, because the piece is right now people don't even realize, as you say, the movement is building, and we are in the time of the Great Awakening. We need to we really need to be able to label shit and label and help people see, because like you said, sometimes some people do shit and don't know it. So, but once you find out that they know, and they just are being ignorant, which the root word of ignorant is ignore. You know what I'm saying? One of the most dangerous individuals is an ignorant person, because an ignorant person is aware of the truth. They just choose to ignore it. That's true ignorance right there. That's you know what I'm saying? A lot of times what we label as ignorance is not. What's ignorance is when you know what's up, but you ignore the truth. You ignore the facts. You know what I'm saying? You ignore the facts. And what we have been allowing to happen to us here in America is we have been allowing people to ignore the truth and ignore the facts about who we are. And I'm not getting into all of the deep biblical shit and all that. I'm talking about some other stuff that we need to really seriously start having and holding people's feet to the fire. This is why I said I wanted to start the newsletter, because we need to really start talking the politics of the city, because we can no longer have nobody running for office that's telling us, I can't do it now, but I could do it later. That's that horse talk. You know what I'm saying? See, we developing our own language. That's that horse talk. You know what I'm saying? I can't stand up with y'all right now. I stand up with you later. Type shit. No, we can't have that no more. So we need to really start being able to label stuff and be able to really, really start calling things out, so that we could really start getting what we deserve here. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Because when I read this one, man, it's like, damn, I'm hurt, because the ass is smarter than us as a group. See, some of us on an individual level, when it comes to each other, we'll tell a motherfucker real quick. You know what I'm saying? You think you all that. Especially when they look like us. You ain't better than me. But other people do the exact same shit, and we allow them to escape as individuals and groups. See, in a sense, at the end, the ass did the checking, because he let the horse know, look, I'm not going for your bullshit. I know what's up. If you're not going to give me when you got now, why should I believe that you're going to give me later? You know, my young boys in the streets call that spending the motherfucker off. Right? I owe you $150. I give you $12 so that I can get away from you right now, and I avoid you until the sum is forgotten. I spent you off. But you owe me $150. I'm gonna spend them off. I give you pennies. I'm gonna spend you off. And we got to stop allowing ourselves to be spent off as a people. I'm just saying, because everybody's building shit up on us. I'm looking at these Koreans beating these black women's asses, and I'm wondering, like, what in the fuck is going on? You know what, dude? Now let's talk about that for a minute, Lady J. Let's get beyond the hair shit and all that. What type of businessman? Because we dealt with this before in our community. What type of businessman would punch his customer? And possibly not only will that customer come back, but other customers will come. Anybody. I experienced this shit firsthand. And many of y'all out there, you might be blacking the shit out because it was painful to watch. But you
What
experienced this.
happened?
I said, what type of businessman punches his customer, beat the shit up out his customer, knowing that the customer will return? Knowing that it won't even stop other customers from coming to him. What business do you do that in, Lady J?
I know it's a. I know that it has this question you are asking has everything to do with the Nguzu Saba. I do know that, and that's how we avoid. But because we lack those values, those virtues, we don't focus on those principles. We get ourselves into those situations.
Lady J, I heard your stories. Listen, I heard your stories. I know you know what type of businessman can beat up his motherfucking customer and not chase away. Other customers will be standing right there, watch them beat somebody else up and be ready to spend their money with them. What business is that? What business that have we experienced in our community and still experienced in our community where the business?
Are you talking about? Are you asking me like a real question, or you?
I'm asking you a real question. I'm asking you, and I'm asking everybody else out there.
You're asking about these convenience stores.
No,
like that,
no. Not only because convenience stores. No, what I'm asking you is, what type of business are we familiar with in our community where the businessman can beat the fuck up out of the customer in front of other customers, and those customers will still buy from them, and then maybe the customer that just got their ass kicked will either go to that same person or maybe go down the street to another one. What other business what business model have we seen where that tactic has been successful? And if y'all don't get it, I'm gonna be very hurt. You experienced it because I heard your story. I hear your story all the time because I be listening. And some of y'all done experienced it. We all got family members in our lives that went through this shit. Let me help you. Does dope sound anything? These motherfuckers are treating our people like we crackheads. A crackhead will get the shit beat out of them, and a whole bunch of other crackheads will be standing around looking at the motherfucker that they about to buy crack from, beat this motherfucker's ass, and be the first in line to buy crack from somebody. We chasing and we're allowing sharecropping. Sharecropping is a little bit different because with sharecropping, a motherfucker is trapped there economically. You understand what I'm saying? Sharecropping, I'm in an area I really can't leave. When I try to leave, you stop me, blah, blah, blah. But we know that a lot of dope heads aren't trapped in that place. They can move somewhere else. They might still be able to carry their addiction, but they stay in the same areas in a sense by choice because, misery loves from not just company, but familiar company. I want to get high with people I get high with. All my friends get high in his house. So he could beat my ass and I'm gonna be like, oh man, it's cool. I understand. I was wrong. Okay, well, okay, And this is how the Koreans treat us. With this hair care shit. With a business model that we started. God damn.
Forget that. What I said, I'm standing by. We see it all day, every single day with these convenience stores in our neighborhoods, robbing us, accusing us of stealing, exploiting from us, all types of things, not hiring. You've been here for 90 years, and we've never seen no one that looks like us. Oh, it ain't been 90 years. At your
I hear you, but it ain't been. I want to be we need to be very clear about that. This shit is a 40-year. This shit is about 40 years. But go ahead.
I'm exaggerating, but I say that because one of the stores that I frequent in the Linden area, the gentleman has been there since I was a teenager. He has been in that same store in that same spot. Looks like he ain't aged not one day since I was a teenager.
He might be a vampire, but go ahead.
On his parking lot right now, and it's not his fault with the heroin epidemic. but I just watch what goes on in the parking lot. I watch that he too is. I mean, some of these businesses, corner stores, they've closed down because they're a nuisance. But those places aren't helping our people. This man, I've never went in there and saw anybody who looks like me working in this place, and yet and still I've been purchasing gas at this location and spending money at this location for years.
Lady J, you know what?
For years.
If you think that you are shocked about what's going on, I want you to really think about, imagine how this motherfucker is living when he's taking the money straight out of our neighborhood. He does not have to. That's called a trade deficit. In our community, we act on a trade deficit. A motherfucker bring in garbage, and we give him gold. I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of it. Right? I'm guilty of it. And it's like, yo, family, it's like, yo, you know, it's coming to a point where now we got everybody has realized that the cash cow in America is us. It's almost like we domesticated cats. You know what I'm saying? A cat think that they free. A cat think that they own the house. A cat feels they could come and go as they please, but they always return back to eat. And it's like people have domesticated our community and got us dependent on their shit. And we get out and we roam, but we always return back to their shit. Whether we talking about hair or Black and Milds or 40 ounces or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, you know, and it's almost as if these motherfuckers got a horse type attitude with us. You know what I'm saying? I might leave this for you after I eat my fill. And what's crazy is that's sort of how they talk to us with their businesses. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to eat my fill, and then because I'm dignified, after I got everything out of it that I could get up out of it, I might leave it for you. So, pimp, dope heads, domesticated cats, you know what I'm saying? We in a bad situation. And as time goes on, if we don't start really standing up, you know what I'm saying? In a minute, our children won't have the sense of this ass. Tell motherfucker, if you ain't gonna give me nothing now, I know you ain't gonna give me nothing later. I want you to go to one of these corner stores when you go. I want you to look at the disdain sometimes that some of these motherfuckers are looking at you. Some of them be like, brother. But then look at the ones that's really making the money. How they really look at you. Look at how some of them even set up their stores to where they have to look down on you in order for you to purchase your shit. They could be sitting down like they sitting on a throne and look down at your ass.
I want you to look at the expiration dates. I want you to look at the dust
I don't
on
buy
the
shit
product.
I don't buy shit from them where I have to. I don't buy shit from them where, in a sense, I have to go and even look at the expiration date.
And I don't either. But
you know what I'm saying?
I don't either.
I don't look at the expiration because I don't
have it there.
But you know what? You know what's even doper?
The fact that they have it there and they exploit the people who can't. You know, we got all these food
It ain't that we can't. It's because, in a sense, me and you, we ain't got enough time in a day, Lady J. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, when it's just so few of us that's out here like this. Because I'm about to tell y'all like this, family. What I'm about to launch on y'all asses on Kaumba at the Marcus Garvey celebration, like I keep telling you, Brother Kwame came up with the term. It's called a boss salad. It's called a boss salad because my kids, from the seed to the very growth, are going to be able to produce for the family. We're going to have a salad for 100 people, and every aspect of that salad will have been created and grown and nurtured by the young people that are in our programs. I don't even like in our commitments, in our family, in our tribe, and some of them going to be there, right? Because I'm like this, family. It's like, yo, I mean, it's time the shit will get up off the pot. So I ain't got to, you know, right now, I can go outside right now because my son growing tomatoes, grab me a tomato. I got me a little bit of kale out there. I got some kale in the refrigerator from what my kids has grown. So I'm able to eat And you know, that shit is real liberating. You know what I'm saying? Some of us is looking for millions of dollars to feel liberated. Let me tell you what feeling liberated actually, you know, just for a moment, to be able to get some shit straight from nature that you was involved with the process in developing and sitting down and being able to make a meal from that shit. And on Kaumba, that's August 25th, I want y'all to come and experience just a moment of freedom. Just a moment of what our ancestors felt when they had their festivals and they were able to produce all the food at that festival for the people. Just come on out. Just come on out. I want you to feel it, right? I want you to feel what it feels like, where you ain't got to worry about nobody looking down on you, because they like, how could these people allow us to come in and just take their money? They're so fucking dumb. Nah, you coming through, I'm telling you. And all winter, and then this is the next step. Kwanzaa, all of the greens. My goal is all of the greens that's going to be cooked for Kwanzaa is going to come from our kids. And that's just the first step. That's just the first step. Now, next year I'm going to have to take it up a whole nother notch. But because I got people buying shirts, because I got people, and you know what I'm saying, I got people coming, like I mentioned something, I got people coming to stands. It's growing. I say, look, we raising money for this festival, we raising money for this festival. You know what I'm saying? I want y'all to understand that none of this stuff is going to waste, family. None of it. I'm sorry, I got off. Cleveland got them carrots too. I don't know if we got enough carrots too. But we got enough tomatoes, we got enough lettuce, we got enough kale, we got enough cucumbers. We got enough, herbs that's going to be in there. And then on top of that, for those that want to take it to another level, I'm going to have Sister Navita's going to take some of this ambrosia, some of this phoenix blood ambrosia. That's a light vinegar. And she's going to make salad dressing out of it. So the whole goddamn meal except for the fish. And I keep on telling y'all, see, I'm so tempted. But I got enough elders that fish where, if I really wanted to top it off, call some of the elders and be like, yo, we don't want to buy fish from Kroger's. We want to reward our elders for doing something they like to do and bring us some fish. As a matter of fact, I know I probably called Baba Dolly right now, and he probably got a refrigerator full of fish right now that he has caught that we're going to eat on. Just so that we can feel what it feels like to be free. Being free ain't about you just having a lot of money in your bank account. Being free means that at least for some amount of time, you have been able to provide food for yourself. But family, my battery is going dead. Lady J, you got any last words before this thing go dead on me? Because I don't want to, when Sprinkle go off, I got to turn YouTube off.
Yes, I do. My message is the same. Each and every time I come on here with you, sir, I just want to remind everyone that we are in the midst of the Great Awakening. It's time to rise. It's time to shine. Shake off those shackles. Today and every day, do something in support of the movement. Continue to read. Donate to causes. I heard you talk about the article that you were reading. Please tag me in on it, because I would love to. I actually love the documentary Slavery by Another Name, but I don't want to digress. So tag me in that article. Donate to a cause. Volunteer your time or services, and use your social media networks to enlighten and inform. Remember that whole peaceful propaganda. Sign petitions, march, plan peaceful protests. Who cares? As long as you're doing something. And always remember that boycotting is an option. If we want change, we must learn how to keep more of it in our pocket.
Oh yeah, and also put more of it in some of our entrepreneurs' pockets as well. So, like I said, family, I want to thank each and every last one of you for taking the time to join us here on Gye-Nyame Journey. Know that I love y'all. We will be up for the Daily Toast. Some of y'all this week, many of y'all children are going to be going to school, so give them words of encouragement. And like I said, let's start learning to lean on each other so that we can make sure that we are preparing this generation for what is facing them. All right. I will see y'all on Kaumba for the Marcus Garvey Festival so y'all can have that boss salad. And like I said, we're going to be doing something during Kwanzaa as well. Kwanzaa's coming up. And like I said, I'm already getting them ready so that we're going to get these greens out here for the Kwanzaa celebration as well. I'm not playing. Nation building 100%. Shouts out to my elders. I had the opportunity to speak to an elder I ain't spoke to in a while, and it felt real good. Shouts out to my super elder, Gaylord Thomas. All right, and for everybody else, family, I'm out. Peace.